We left you on a bit of a cliffhanger last time. While watching Rooster run around on an almost completely healed leg and making plans to take advantage of the last warm days in the forecast, a property caught our attention. With only a couple days of good weather left, we decided to make a spur-of-the-moment trip to go walk the property. As it turns out, the property is within a few hours from the wild horse facility, so we figured, why not take a little detour and go look at some of the Mustangs that had caught my eye.
We're back. We got Alyssa here. We got the dogs this time. We got the long lens, so we're in for a great day. We're back here at the Burns Wild Horse Facility, and Alyssa's got a list that she wants to take a closer look at and see in person. And so we zipped back over here while the weather was still good. So let's go look at some horses.
Picking out another Mustang is a bit overwhelming. There are so many nice horses at just this one facility, and there are so many more facilities we haven't even looked at. Depending on how we feel about this property and how everything goes, if we do decide to make an offer, we might be looking at bringing home a couple more Mustangs in the very near future. I'd like to adopt, gentle, and rehome these horses. A lot of them have already been sitting and holding for over a year now. Even though I believe more of these horses need to be adopted, I do want to talk honestly about the responsibility that comes with adopting a wild horse. These horses may look fairly tame standing around in a pen, quietly munching hay, but they are very wild. Most of these horses have not been handled at all, aside from being freeze branded, vaccinated, microchipped, and castrated if they were a stallion. They're moved from pen to pen here in a large herd and may be doctored or have their feet trimmed in a squeeze chute if needed, but they have never been haltered. You can't pet them. They have zero trust in people, and because of that, they can react quickly and sometimes violently out of fear. It's easy to get caught up in romanticizing the process of taming a wild Mustang. Movies like Spirit and Hidalgo aren't reality. Adopting one of these horses requires serious thought, preparation, patience, and caution. Even if you have horse experience, training a completely wild horse is not something to take lightly. In fact, there are horses here that have been adopted and later relinquished back to the facility because people got in over their heads. These horses are tough enough to gentle as is, but when their first experience with a human is a bad one, it makes it even harder for them to learn to trust again. So while I would love to see horses adopted, it's incredibly important that they go to homes with experienced horse trainers, or at the very least, people who have a solid mentor they can lean on if they run into problems. That's for the safety of the horse and for your safety as well. These horses are big, strong, and fast, and fear can make them unpredictable. We get comments all the time saying how easy it looked to gentle Rooster. Rooster is a very sweet and sensible horse, but he was completely untouched when we got him. Even though we didn't do a great job of capturing every single moment on camera, there were times he challenged me and became defensive. I had to pay very close attention to his body language because if I had ignored it, his story could have turned out very differently. I've spent my adult life, since I was 13 years old, trying to better my horsemanship and continue learning and growing as a horseman. So while I take it as a compliment that I made things with Rooster look easy, it wasn't. It took a lot of patience, consistency, time, and learning to read subtle signs before things escalated. Even though I've spent all this time learning, I still have so much further to go in my horsemanship journey, and I'm always trying to continually learn. You have to be realistic with yourself about how much time you can truly commit to a wild horse. Can you work with them 1, 2, or even 3 short sessions a day in the beginning, day after day? If not, then maybe now isn't the right time. When we adopt a wild horse, it's our responsibility to give that horse the best possible start and the best life we can.
Oh, so far so good. There's still a lot of beautiful horses here. They did rearrange everything. I think the way to do it, if you're coming to a facility to look at horses, is stop at the office first and kind of look at a map of the pens that they have. And they can kind of tell you, like, this one's old geldings, this one's old mares, this is yearlings, you know, and then you know exactly what you're looking at. We're doing it kind of backwards. We're looking at everything and writing down numbers, and then we'll go to the office today. But man, there are so many beautiful horses here. I don't even know, like, there's like roan pintos and long manes, short manes, palominos. There's everything. It's pretty overwhelming.
This mare had an absolutely gorgeous mane. It would almost be worth paying the $125 adoption fee just to gentle her to be able to brush out that long mane of hers. Her forelock was absolutely insane. There are a lot of mares here from the Murderers Creek HMA, which is also from Oregon. Most of these horses seem to be on the shorter side and are a little more slender built than the South Steens herd. This HMA definitely doesn't seem to have all the crazy flashy colors like the South Steens does. Most of these guys are bay, blacks, sorrels, or chestnuts. There were some pretty cute little babies in this pen though. There was even this older mare that was very pregnant. She looks like she'll probably foal any day. Thank goodness she's not still out in the wild, because it would be one tough winter trying to take care of a foal and nurse it when there's not much left to eat on the ground. Most of the horses at this facility are mares. They sent most of the geldings off to other facilities and have adopted them out already. There's one small pen of geldings, but other than that, it's all mares here at this facility. I catch a glimpse of one of my favorite mares. This is the girl that turns out to be a little bit older than they estimated. I'm not sure why I like her so much. She is very, very flashy, and that long white mane is pretty striking. But she just has some sort of presence about her that I really like. This gelding with his blue eyes and little half and half ears was pretty striking. This big dappley buckskin pinto was also a pretty nice looking boy. I think most of the geldings they have in here are on the older side, but we didn't ask about them in the office, so I'm not positive. There are so many horses here, and with them feeding in a big long line and their pens being pretty long, it's easy for the horses to move around and swap positions, so we wanted to go back through all the pens and see if we could see any new horses we hadn't been able to see before. There is an extremely pretty dappled palomino that caught my eye. Her mane is so long, but her poor forelock either got tangled up and pulled out or someone else ate it off. Jason said it looks like she has a wolf cut. It's pretty pathetic looking right now, but in time it would grow back and be absolutely beautiful. It's pretty mind-blowing how many buckskin pintos are here. This mare is pretty cute. She does have a little bit of a long back, which I try to avoid. There's another really cute buckskin pinto though that did catch her eye. She's a little bit on the shorter side for us. I don't think sorrels, chestnuts, and bays get enough credit. There are some really good looking brown horses in here as well. Sorrels with flaxen manes and tails are actually one of my favorite colors. There is about every color imaginable in these herds. I'm kind of surprised how many pintos are still in here. Most of these horses were rounded up last October. I think some of these girls are pretty darn old. This little strawberry roan pinto really caught my eye. She looked very much like a quarter horse. She was probably only about 14 hands, but was extremely stocky. This little bay was pretty cute. Her poor little ears must have gotten frostbitten off. This red dun pinto mare really caught my eye. She was pretty flashy. I'm not sure how old she is, but she is in with a bunch of older mares. That buckskin's cute. Their little bobtail, it looks like.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many older. We decided to drive around one more time to take one last look at all these girls. I did go into the office and ask them about a couple of fillies that caught my eye. One I actually have some history with and have seen her in the past. If we're able to get a bigger property, I'm definitely going to come back and see if they're still available. Since they were busy cleaning pens, they had shuffled some horses around, and the pen full of younger mares that Jason really liked was all in the middle, and we weren't able to see them today. We were a little bit disappointed because there was a couple of them we wanted to take a closer look at. There is something special about this older Pinot mare. We had someone comment and ask if age has anything to do with training ability. It does a little bit. Younger horses are definitely easier to train, but even an older mare like this girl is definitely not untrainable. Sometimes their maturity can actually come in handy when you're training them. The only problem is, if she's 15 to 18 years old right now, say it takes you 2 years to get her started really well, she's going to be about retirement age by the time you really start riding her. And horses, just like people, can develop arthritis and other issues as they get older, so those are the main things to consider when you're looking at adopting an older Mustang. but as a pasture pet or something like that, she would be wonderful. If this girl was about 10 years younger, she would definitely be at the top of my list. I can't even imagine how beautiful she was in her prime. We didn't get to look at the horses all that long because we did need to drive back so we could meet with the realtor. It's a little bit sad to think about losing our beautiful mountain views on our property right now. This property definitely doesn't have those striking snow-capped mountain views like our other property does, but it does have a ton of irrigation. This big field right here is 35 acres worth of irrigation. It's pretty overgrazed and it needs a lot of work, but it would be more than enough hay for all of our equines all year long. We'd be able to have big pasture turnouts, lots of big dry lots, an arena, a round pen, and plenty of Mustang facilities to adopt, train, and rehome a bunch of Mustangs. Although there's not a lot of trees on the property, it does have a few mature cottonwoods in the yard and some great horned owls were making themselves right at home. There's also another 40 acres worth of sage that we could make into an obstacle course or little trails for the equines. We might even do a track system through there. But we always want to remember that if the property isn't right and the door gets closed, it just means something else better is waiting down the road.